Hello my friends, how are you today? I'm Andreas from Motorfanatics and welcome to a new video. Today I will be talking down all the nuts and bolts on the front suspension of the Skyline. We will depaint and repaint the springs of the rear coilovers, and after that we'll mount the rear coilovers too. That's a lot to do for one session, so I suggest we get started now. I don't know if you guys can see it, but you probably can already hear it. We are heating up the room, right, with this thing and a few others. That's because we want to paint our springs, but before painting the springs, obviously, we still need to get rid of the paint remover. Last time I really ruined my wonderful work gloves, that's why we are using a new set of work gloves and put one-time use gloves over them. The doctor will see you now. Yeah, well, first of all we get rid of those. That should be enough. Here we go. How do I get rid of one glove without ruining the other? Come on. Then I guess we do it that way around. Squeaky clean! Yay! And now, like I said, we're gonna take it and put it in front of our little flamethrower and wait. I don't know if you guys can hear me while the flamethrower is doing its magic and preventing me from freezing to death in this ice cave. I was just cleaning the threads of the rear shocks, and I can't remember if I have told you about those damaged threads. I'm zooming a little bit so you guys can see it. The shiny parts are where I re-grooved, recut the threads, and the less shiny parts, well, there wasn't enough material left to recut or re-groove. We couldn't screw it that low anyway, because probably the whole car would scrape on the street. Next step. So now there are two ways to go ahead. Obviously I'm gonna spray them once more with a degreaser to get them paint ready, and then the best way would be, even before that, make everything squeaky clean and as shiny as a new piece of steel. Let's be honest guys, it won't happen. Gonna put a little bit of rust converter as a base coat onto them, and then we're done. Our little electrical heaters do their best. The springs are still a little bit warm to the touch from our flamethrower, and now we start with our first coat. Gonna let it dry for a few minutes, and then we do our second coat. And now for the second coat, I've as careful as possible, turned the springs around. The left spring is dry to the touch. The right, unfortunately, still is a little bit tacky. And now the next step is the color paint. Second coat is now dry to the touch. We carefully try to turn the springs around. Okay guys, see me? Down here in the corner. And now we wait again. Almost. There we go. Here we go. The rubber cover is not damaged, okay? And now, once again, top spring retainer. Without damaging anything. Once again. There we go. Now we've got it. Here we are. Next step. Here we go. And the nut. Here we go. Here we go. After tight comes loose again. Huh? Here we go. That one. Now we need this piece. And now, here we go. Needed a little bit of love, but here we go, all the way around, wonderful, and the other way around. Number 1 is almost done. Still need to undo the spring tensioner. That was easy, I was going to say, but now it's still stuck. Oh, come on, don't do this to me. Here we go. Now, get rid of this. I need to get the cap back up. Here we go. That was far easier than the rear one, the front ones. And this was number 1. So what follows will be number 2. Go away now. And now the rubber cover. Here we go. Here we have it. Now we've got 2 wonderfully reassembled shocks or coilover, however you want to call it. And now those need to get in there. Mounting the rear coilovers on a Skyline is both a little bit easier and at the same time a little bit more difficult than mounting the front ones. Because the easy part is you just have to sit the fork on this lower part here and put a bolt in it. The more difficult part is you have to get the strut top up in there into the strut tower. And no matter what you do, you can't see and feel this hole because the whole strut assembly is in the way. It's a little bit fiddly, but if you are lucky, it's done very, very quickly. I'd suggest we now test our luck. I've put a small workshop light onto the upper control arm so you guys can see the hole we are trying to get in. Ooh. Here we go. Whoa, did not expect that. But we have to turn the strut bearing a little bit and try once again. It works, guys. Wouldn't call it perfect, but it works. Now what we have to do is lower the car, putting the bolt here to support the lower fork. We have to lower the car and secure the strut towers. Now the Skyline is close to the floor. I've got my small nuts. Now we get into the car. I don't know, can we call it a car at this point in time? Oh God! Ah. Here we go. I hope you guys can see it. Here we go. Ooh. Don't drop them. Don't need to be over tightened, just to keep it from falling out. Second one. Whole car starts shaking. Here's already a piece of our fuel system, but it's just sitting there doing nothing. Now let's climb onto the other side. Again, just hand tight to secure the coilover from falling out. Oh, come on. I'm using the camera to guide my hand. Here we go. Once again, just hand tight. Here we go. That keeps the shocks from falling out. And now to the underside of the car. It's all up and down with this car. Top sits snugly. Now we only need to fix the bottom. Going to put the bolt in from the front. I tried to put it in from the front. Here we go. That just looked promising. Unfortunately, we don't have the original Nissan nuts, but we have got ones equal in thread pitch, diameter and strength, so they will work too. It should work now. Famous last words. No gap, nice one. That's how it's supposed to be. The shocks are now in their place, and I have to admit, they look mighty fine where they belong. The only thing still missing is torquing all the nuts and bolts down and mounting the high-cas eliminator kit, which is this little piece, which will be mounted right here. Like I promised you guys last time, now it's time for a little bit of torque wrench action. We're gonna need, of course, our torque wrench, a few wrenches, and our sheet. Namely, that one. For axles and suspension. Here we go. And now we can torque everything down to spec. Gonna take our torque wrench. So only the connection to the steering rod and to the hub is still not torqued on spec, excluding the coilovers and excluding the Brembo calipers. These, however, might get a little bit complicated because we need to torque them down from above.
One eternity later.
Here we go. We almost torqued everything down in the front. The only thing still missing is the steering linkage, because the pins turn with it. Can't do much about that. Now we've got the subframe, we've got the steering rack, subframe mountings, we've got the sway bar linkage, we've got the sway bar mounts, the push rods, lower control arms, upper control arms, excluding the brake caliper adapters and excluding the shocks. It's time to stop, and that's what we are going to do now, guys. We've done enough for today. Well guys, I guess that's all for today. We did everything we wanted to do. I hope you guys liked our video. If you liked it, consider giving it a thumbs up. If you really liked our videos, consider subscribing, and we see each other next time.